Welcome back to the Zeldacast. I know I switched up the songs there. We were doing Zant. I was talking with Kayak before the stream. I didn't set up the song. That's on me. I didn't set up the song for you guys. I want to thank you guys all for the support on the channel recently. I got my little self promotion. The Himpleton thing got 321 views. We're doing really good, okay? Even though it was literally just like Gen Z TikTok garbage of soundboards on an episode, it still got the best. It's the best video on the channel. Yesterday, um, thank you guys all for watching the C6 drama video. I've updated this. I've updated the title. I've put his name in the title so he knows that he is a freak. But thank you guys for watching the Zelda cast. We're doing more Zelda content for you guys. I got things worked out in the back end. More Zeldathon streams. More Zelda related content. New year, new Zelda. I hope you guys all had a great New Year's. Badwick certainly did. But let's get right into it. Hello, K-Hawk. Welcome to the Zelda cast once more.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I see like you got a new mic.
I do, and it's pretty, and I love it.
What is like? Does it have like colors?
Yeah, it has. Well, it's like I said last night. It's a Mayano one, Maono. Mr. Huck and I just happened to find it on Amazon, and we liked it because it flashed pretty colors, and we were like, "Ooh, colors!" And it also happened to be actually pretty decent from what we saw of the review. So I'm like, "Hey, why don't we get this?" And it wasn't too terribly expensive. So yeah, no, I like this. I like this a lot. Happy New Year, by the way. How are you?
I'm doing good. I had a good New Year's. I lost a subscriber, but I did have 360. I'm still excited. I know I could get the 400 hopefully by February. Then it's
Let's
just the long
go.
haul from there. We're almost there, chat. We're almost there for you to pay me in super chats.
Pay you in super chats, really? You have you have like let's put it this way: you're like halfway to the you got like 140 what?
140 left to go.
Yeah, there you
And then
go.
it's
Yeah,
500
140
more
or
for
so
the
left to
long
go
haul. We're all in the long haul this year. Especially you. You're 400 away. You're on the long haul. The op block is live as
from
well, doing some maid stuff. He's on the way. There's a lot of people this year
main
that are on the
stuff.
way. They're on the
Yes.
way.
Well, okay, to be fair with the op block and Falgi, it's a promise from him getting 500 subs. So once he got 500 subs, he promised his audience and his community that he would dress up in a maid's outfit, and that is why. So, and he pulled through. He tried to in the beginning of the stream, he tried to just have his animation or his PFP dressed in the maid costume because he tried to think that his audience was
I
yeah.
think
He
I
tried
think
to get it.
I think the PFP is better. I think he
I
needs to
agree.
put back the P on. I think he needs to put the PNG back on.
Okay,
Uh,
but here's the thing. Okay, if he would have promised that, that'd be different. But he didn't. He promised that he would be on camera doing it, so that's why. Yeah, he thought that his audience was gonna be like, "Oh, we'll let you get away with it." That he should know better than that. He
hey,
knows better than that. His audience is savage.
hey, Kanga, and hello. Yeah, Nintendo Mail. Uh,
Hello, chat. Hello.
hello,
Yeah.
chat.
Oh, really? Really? Have you recorded your first episode with him yet, sir?
Nope.
Ah, darn you.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Toxic, and after the recent blowout between me and Nintendo Mail, I don't even know what's happening anymore. I really don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
I
Hold on,
don't
Burn.
even
Give me
know.
1 second. Hold on. Give me. Yeah. Of course, the little one walked in as we get started. Of course, hasn't came in all night until just now. Hold on. Give me a second.
Of course, yeah. Um, oops. There we go. Okay, yeah. Hope you guys are having a good night. I have lots of plans going on. I have a second channel
Okay.
also planned. Oh, you're back. What's
Continue. Go
up?
ahead.
Yeah, I have a second channel planned. To do no commentary walkthroughs and playthroughs, for, as I've been planning that for a while. I've come up with a name yet, but I don't know if I want to link it to my channel just yet.
Oh,
But
okay. Do
yeah,
you do you have it created already, or are you still
not
working on
yet.
that?
I'm working on the creation of it. I'm gonna make more videos and then practice editing before I start the channel. I'm actually gonna hunker down this
Right.
year, uh, so I don't rely on editors anymore.
Gotcha.
Because
Gotcha.
Himpleton,
No.
if I knew how to edit the Himpleton episode, which surprisingly got 321 views, wouldn't have happened.
Oh,
the all
gotcha.
the
Oh, oh,
soundboards, the soundboard spam alert. Yeah, if I just knew how to
oh,
edit, that wouldn't have
Jesus.
happened. That wouldn't have happened.
Oh, that's funny. Well, you know what? Hey, at least you got a goal, and at least you're wanting to get to that. I can't talk. At least you're wanting to get that. Hopefully, get that going. That's a good resolution to have for this year. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So it will just be you having gameplay and not commentary related, or
yeah.
you will have commentary related.
It's just gonna be like playthroughs and walkthroughs of games without commentary.
Oh, oh, that's a good
I want to
idea.
be the next Zor Zelda, who's basically just I don't know if he's dead or what, but he was a big. It's not even like it's unfortunate because he's my favorite Zelda channel. Unironically, Zor Zelda is one of the most fucking based
Hmm.
Zelda players in the world, and he just dropped off. Beavers, what's up? Yeah, what's up, Beavers?
Hi, Beavers. Yes, it is me. It is I. Hi,
Jesus.
Beavers.
Hope you're doing well, Beavers. No, now recording. I know that Matt Pitt is gooning over Kinetic Kill.
Kinetic kill.
I hope the best for now recording. It might be over from here. Matt is gooning for another woman, like Lav. Okay, it's only the
I
crazy ones. It's over from here. Beckett is taking over.
Yeah. Beckett's gonna take over. Oh fucking hell. Oh Jesus. Yeah, right. No, that's funny. And also, let me just say this here. If it is true that he ain't helping with the Spurgies because Because he, as we know with the Spurgies, he won the biggest simp. So guess what, Matt? You're not helping. Not helping. If that is in fact true.
I have lots of faith in Matt. That Kinetic Kill. He can fix Kinetic Kill.
About the YouTube sub, do whatever makes you happy. No point if you don't enjoy it. True.
It's
100%.
Oh yeah, it's not like I don't dislike what I'm doing. I enjoy what I do a lot. I just want to do a different avenue where it's not connected to a spastic
I get it.
like me.
No, listen. Hey, all power to you. If you think if that's what you want to do, by all means, go for it. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Yeah. So once you get it going, and once hopefully that will happen here soon. So yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy doing it. Last night I actually had a lot of fun. Burning that C6 guy, that absolute freak. But But
yeah, you were telling me about that before stream. That sounds interesting. Yeah, he sounds like a cool guy. Mm-hmm.
Totally not on my cock for the last 4 months, unironically. But tonight, it's New Year. If your gaming channel ever pops off, leave commentary, delete your channel. No, I can't. I can't delete this channel. I need to do more Tony Hit stuff. Okay? Beavers.
No.
The 58 podcast
you can
is
leave
coming
it
back.
up.
Yeah, 58 podcast is totally coming back, Beavers. Okay.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh my god, no.
I keep saying that.
Don't.
I keep saying that to Tony, and then like he acts like I don't know. I keep giving Tony Hits like hope, and then I take it away, and it's very funny.
Evil. But I get why. It's Tony. I understand. It's allowed. So no, I get it. Yeah. With Tony, yes, that's allowed. I will allow it. Yes. And no, he doesn't have to delete his channel, Beavers. He can keep this up for archive purposes or something. If you take off with it, I think
commentary.
You will.
I'm never gonna leave that. That's so gay. I'm still gonna do what I love.
No one leaves commentary. I'm sorry. No, yeah, that's, or at least if they try to. I mean, you cannot be a part of the community or not be involved. Yeah, that's one thing. That's fair. But once you're, in or whatever, you don't ever really leave. You do leave for a while, or some people do leave for a while, but they eventually end up coming back in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, just depends.
I mean, and then there's some that do try to come back, and then they get blown out of the water, and they run. Yep. Echo tragedy.
Oh, wait, hold on, back up. Did he try to come back or something, or are you just saying that as an example?
He did try to. He tried to come back in November, and then tried to throw Joe under the bus.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, he tried to throw Joe under the bus, and it didn't work. So that's why he's gone again.
Wait, I knew about him messaging
that's
somebody to get a hold of Badwick.
Yeah, that's the attempt of coming back, and the reason why he wanted to come back is for some reason throw Joe under the bus, and it didn't work.
Oh,
that's why he wanted to come back
I did know.
For some reason. That's why he wanted to come back.
Okay, well then I do know what. Okay, gotcha.
If I ever have a successful channel, I'm gonna give Matt 20%. Don't, and we're deleting our recording.
Not having that really be okay.
I'm not having that skeleton come back. Well,
you wouldn't listen. It wouldn't just be Matt that you would have to give 20% though to Beavers. I'm just let's be honest.
You know what? You know what? You can give now recording to me. Okay, you don't have to delete the channel. I can be now recording, and I can ruin it. Okay.
Oh, you, wow.
I mean, Toxic
Wow.
already owes me 5% for trying to do the Nintendo Mail podcast. Okay, he owes me
That is true.
5%.
That is
We've
true.
never agreed to that, but I'm agreeing to it. Therefore, it happens. Uh,
That's funny.
but you have
Okay. Yeah.
suggested some Zelda videos tonight.
Yes.
The future of Zelda. I don't know. I think it's February that we get the first Nintendo Direct, and then it's June. Um, I
Hmm.
don't. I hope. I hope the Switch 2, whatever they're gonna call it, comes out. Um, and then I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know what they're gonna do. So I'm interested in watching this guy's takes. Um, but I'm skimming through it, and it just seems like it's a Tears of the Kingdom critique video. But well, I'll give it that. And then we have the multiverse, which it's like animated series. If we have time, we'll get to that. But I want to go over the future of Zelda games. What do you think the future will hold for us, Kaok?
Question, because I know that we've kind of touched upon it a little bit off and on in several other podcasts, but I don't know. And that's the thing is that like I said, with Tears of the Kingdom, that was a big project, obviously, and with Echoes of Wisdom, that was also a big project too. You know, I mean, they could continue on with the Echoes of Wisdom theme or whatever you want to call it series. They could continue with that and make another game related to that. Who knows? I don't know. We don't know. Or they could come up with another open world. But I saw that video the other day, actually, in my feed, and I meant
Hmm.
to send it to you and have us watch it, or have you watch it beforehand, but we didn't because life.
Yeah,
And I epic failed.
yeah,
But
yeah.
um,
New Year's, Christmas, etc.
yeah, exactly. So what I was thinking was that we could react to that and do a blind react to that and see what this dude's takes are. Now I've heard somewhat of this creator. The name sounds familiar, but I'm not like fully familiar with him, like as in I know what his content is about. So I think I may have seen like a video or two of his like a long time ago, but again, it's been, I don't really remember. So yeah, I'm interested to hear what this guy has to say. So yeah, let's play it.
Okay, I'll play it for screen. Also, I do have the PayPal working again, guys. I will not lose $400 this year. I promise.
Yes, please, no, I will kill you. No. I'm
Community
here
finds
now,
itself in
damn
an
it.
interesting
I won't let that
situation.
happen.
There's a great divide among the different groups regarding what the future
Do
of
you see
Zelda
it on
should
your
look
side?
like. This is not new. There's been a large divide in the fan
Wait, Kaok, do you see it on your side or in the screen share?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
base since the release of Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild eschewed the classic Zelda formula that dominated the series for 20 years, and it was massively successful, selling over 300 million copies, 3 times as many as the previous best-selling Zelda game.
By
Not
the
surprised.
way, he corrects it in the comments. It's not 300 million. It's 30 million. Because yeah,
Ooh.
it's not 300 million. 'Cause that would be like I think the most bought Zelda game. But no, it's 30 million.
Which made the legacy audience a
Gotcha.
minority of the fanbase overnight. If you loved the older games but you didn't like Breath of the Wild, then for you, the future of the series was bleak. But now things are different. The release of Tears of the Kingdom has given people a new perspective. There's still a divide, but the nature of that divide has changed.
Okay.
On May 12th, 2023, Nintendo released The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I still haven't forgiven them.
I'm not trying to be this negative, and I appreciate that they are more diverse than last time, but they took more of a baby step than a leap, and I'm not even sure I'd say these are better than Divine Beasts. The Water Temple especially is a bunch of nothing, no different than any of the platforms you explored to get there. I could include the 5th Quasi-Temple in the list, but it would be the worst of them. If I ranked every 3D Zelda dungeon, none of these would even crack the middle.
One of my gripes with the Divine Beasts as dungeons
There's
was
Zeltic.
that they all felt very similar. They all featured the same
Yeah, that
ancient
guy's
Chica
really good.
design, the
I
same
agree.
enemies, and were solved in the same way, by activating terminals.
That's
And
true.
every one of these problems has been carried over into these new temples. They were all
That
built
is
by the
actually true.
Zonai.
There is like no difference between the terminals and just like going over to like the gears in the airship or the mirror things, and I haven't played Tears in a long time, so forgive me. I might have to do a playthrough of that on stream for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like the electrical currents and the lightning temple. Like it's just like, oh, so it's connect 5 terminals again. I mean, it was kind of stupid in Breath of the Wild. I think the most innovative one was Naboris, but Naboris is also fucking hard. Rudania it was fun. I'll give it that. Ruto was okay, and Mado was, even though it was the easiest, it was still kind of annoying. But to see it, like, they copied and pasted a lot of shit. Definitely
Yeah.
copied and pasted concepts. There's not much different. Okay, thank you guys for coming on to Steam tonight. I gotta find out how to get into Steam notifications, because
They're all
Jesus.
populated by constructs, and they're all solved again by activating a set of
Oh,
terminals.
yeah,
While I
the
do
golem.
appreciate the effort that went into giving each of them a unique quest, theme, and boss, they don't solve any of the actual issues Breath of the Wild had with its dungeons.
It was there that I found a recycled mini-boss from the tutorial island. Yay! Once I defeated it, I was able to activate yet another terminal and was told I'd be granted a rare piece of armor, cloaked in otherworldly evil. The pedestal with the treasure chest rose up from the ground. I went to open it, and... Are you kidding me? This can't be serious. They cannot be serious. The payoff to all of this is...
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'd have to. I agree. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one mistake, but also the one blessing is that I accidentally looked up the Lambert. Like, I didn't want to look up anything, but I accidentally looked up the Shadow Ganon stuff. It's like, oh yeah, never mind. I'm never doing this. You have to do, like, it's 3 labyrinths this time. The one on the bottom, the one in the middle, and the one in the sky. Yeah, that's not worth it for this at all. For like a mediocre stealth armor.
A Shadow Ganon for that? What?
Well, yeah, evil
Recycled?
Ganon. Yeah. Well, evil. It's the Phantom out. Sorry. I'm gonna get Nintendo mailed in chat. Actually, it's the Phantom Ganon. Yes.
We get Nintendo mailed. Oh my god.
But yes, there's 3 labyrinths to get each set of the armor. It's not the Savage armor from Breath of the Wild, where it gives you attack bonus. It gives you a stealth bonus to do each one, and instead of it just being one, it's 1 sky, 1 middle, 1 depth, and that's for each piece. That's not for like one, the other. That's for
that?
each piece.
Dude.
Yes, I am so glad I accidentally looked that up. Now I don't have to do it. I'm never going to do it.
I don't think I ever did this, because this does not. That yeah, I didn't. Again, I think my first playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom was mainly just for story purposes and all of that, of course. But I'm obviously I want to play it again to, obviously see what else is available and see what else you can do. But with that, I'm gonna try to avoid that like the fucking plague. I'm good. No, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed too.
Nope, and the labyrinths were annoying enough in Breath of the Wild, but at least you got something out of it, like the Savage armor, which gave you an attack bonus. This just gives you a night bonus and stealth bonus. Woo-hoo.
Woo! Yeah, exactly. When you can eat food to do the same goddamn thing. Exactly.
And what a waste of time.
Yeah, I hear you.
What's up, Underground Broadcast? Am I late for the Zelda? Okay, I'm not. We're gonna read the last part of that one.
No.
That guy's cool though. Broadcast is an asshole though.
All right.
He's cool.
Okay, fine.
He's based. He does a lot of like the Marvel comics and DC dramas and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder. Have you Underground? Now that he mentions that, have you played Rivals? I wonder how you like Rivals then.
I haven't played Rivals, but yeah, he does like the DC movie comics and etc. Is that Ginger with a skull supposed to be burned? Okay, you know what? That's true. That guy's
Yep.
base
Nope.
though.
That's 100% accurate.
That's
Underground. Yes, that is. Yep.
that's it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know what your take is on Marvel Rivals. I heard it's good, but I'm not playing a Overwatch 2 clone. Sorry. I already hate
It
Overwatch enough.
say that. It's I from what I've seen of the gameplay, that's not what that to me it doesn't look like that, but I mean to each their own. So Mr. Huck loves it, and so does Squatchin plays it too. They love it.
These people. Uh, these nerds. These DC Marvel nerds. Jesus. But yeah, it's not worth the armor. Doing all that work for a piece of armor, nah. I
I
don't like
agree.
the Overwatch type of game. Yeah, that's what I thought you would say, honestly. Anything that
Fair.
just copies Overwatch is like it just literally it's one for one. You have the healer class, the support class, the tank class. It's just like yeah, this is just Overwatch with heroes.
Gotcha.
Whoopity doo.
All
Whoopity
right.
whoopity
Fair enough.
fucking do. But yeah, he does like yeah, he does like movies and etc. I do highly recommend the Underground broadcast for if you're a DC Marvel nerd, I would watch him. But back to
Okay.
the Zeldacast. We're done glazing you. You can go back to playing your little Marvel game.
DLC armor from Breath of the Wild, I could forgive the underwhelming ground maze. I could forgive the underwhelming sky maze. I could even forgive the recycled boss fight. But this is my reward? Armor that you can't even upgrade? If they were gonna recycle armor from Breath of the Wild, which is
Actually,
already lazy on
okay,
the
one more glazing. Everyone online always chooses the same class and throws off the game, so it's just pointless. That's just Overwatch. That's just Overwatch. That's why I can't play Overwatch. That's why, because everyone chooses the same class. No one does it. This is like a that's not even Zelda related. People do like the tank class, but they won't ever do a healer class. Oh, they'll do like a fucking an assault class, and they'll just do assault and die, and they complain that there's no healers because no one picked a healer. So yeah, not
Mm.
playing that. No. If everyone's gonna choose the same class, fuck it, bad game.
face of it, why not the barbarian armor? That would have made sense. You got the barbarian armor from the mazes in Breath of the Wild. Phantom fucking Ganon from Ocarina of Time? What does this have to do with this maze, with the ruler of owls, with anything? Worst of all, this was just one piece of an armor set, meaning the other two mazes would reward me with the other two pieces. I cannot possibly overstate how disappointed I was by this. This moment radicalized me.
Three Tempest, the fourth one, will still explain you.
Oh, also, okay, we also do pop culture and political news. It's not just comic book nerd shit. All I do is watch you for the book nerd shit, but okay, you're more than that. This guy's amazing. I completely vouch for the Underground broadcast. Back to it.
The
That
same
was the
story
last
for a
glazing.
fourth
Fuck
time.
you.
It will still be like,
Yeah, okay.
wow, I wonder why Zelda summoned a giant
What the fuck
spider
did he
on
just
us.
do?
A
Okay.
giant Goma. That's weird. It's not really like her. At this point, and I know everyone talks about this, right? Like, I'm repeating what you've heard other...
this is the longest intro in history. So it's just going
Yeah,
over...
it seems like it.
Okay, Jesus
viewers
Christ.
and people making video essays on this video
let's
saying
give it
that I
another
do
minute
want to
and
give
see
you
what
my thoughts
happens.
on them. And my thoughts are not very different. Why can Link not talk? Like, why can he not at least, like, wave or, like, do something to tell these helpless sages what's happening? Why, after having already maybe obtained the Master Sword, having figured out exactly what happened to Zelda, having figured out how the time travel is, what the time travel is all about, having figured out that Zelda that's going around Hyrule Castle is fake, why do we still need to let our little sages believe that this Zelda is real? Like, every time you go to a global phenomena area, these sages will be like, oh, what? Why did Zelda do this? Link is just, like, standing there, not doing anything. And then, like, after you finally do all 4 dungeons,
That got
right?
me. The
After you
face that
finally
you
do
made
them,
got me.
you go back
That's
to
gonna
look
be
out
like
landing,
when
and
I get
still,
I gotta set up the donate. I'm gonna make the peepaw like gabba 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 like my sound. I'm gonna have that guy's face as
Yes,
the.
let's
That's
go.
gonna be
Let's
that guy. That
go.
guy's face is gonna be when he does that normal face. That's gonna be
Hell
my
yeah.
picture when I get the donation. Yappa, yappa,
Let's
yappa. Tell you
go.
what, tell you what, tell you what. Yappa, yappa, yappa. That's gonna be my donation sound.
God, that was fucking hilarious. Oh my god. That was dude.
That is the
The
day I
night
approved.
he
That's the night I approved Peepaw for Wall Smashers.
right? Oh dude, seriously? No, that he messaged me. We were talking like we were just exchanging pleasantries about Christmas and stuff. And I talk to people on occasion when I can and when he can, but he had told me that Badwick was going to drop the episode and that I need to watch it. I'm like, oh God, what happened? And I'm glad that he did because I was crying. I was crying, laughing. It was hilarious. It was hysterical.
You're a fucking retarded bitch. It's amazing. Peepaw has been
Thanks.
officially approved for Wall Smashers. I thought he was boring. I didn't think he would make the cut.
Oh no! When
I
you get
stand
him riled up,
corrected.
it's
I
when
stand
you
corrected.
yeah. When you get him riled up, it's
Tell you what. Yup, we can do this all fucking
it's
night.
hilarious. When you get him riled up, though, oh dear God, yeah, just
It's amazing. We gotta get more people to piss off Peepaw for Wall Smashers. Okay, find them.
True.
Purple Paw Prince in chat. Find them all that would piss off Peepaw.
Oh God. Anyway, let's watch this. Enough about people.
you
But
look
yeah, I
through
agree.
the telescope, and Pura's like, what is Zelda doing there? Like, please.
You see what I'm saying? Why now? It's almost because Nintendo just knew kind of what they wanted to do, but they didn't know how to connect it to Breath of the Wild, so they didn't.
People are not happy.
Yes,
with Tears of the
and that
Kingdom.
is my biggest
It is the
complaint
most
with that,
complained
and
about
we
Zelda
talked
game
about it multiple different times.
Yeah,
yes,
there's no connection.
There's no connection. Yes, I 100% agree. 100% agree.
But you can drive the cart. Look at that. I drive cart.
Nintendo just knew kind of what they wanted.
That's what he does. Nintendo. This is canon. This is a canon event. Driving the cart.
I drive cars, really? Oh my God. What are you, Smaggle now all of a sudden? Jesus. Fucking Albert. But no, I 100% agree, yes. Yeah. That is one of my biggest complaints about Tears of the Kingdom is the non-connection to Breath of the Wild. Yes.
Yeah, it's nothing, but you can drive the cart. Okay, this is pivotal Zelda lore content.
But they didn't know how to connect it to Breath of the Wild, so they didn't.
People are not happy with Tears of the Kingdom. It is the most complained about Zelda game I have ever seen. I don't believe it is part of some Zelda cycle, and I don't think it will become more fondly remembered as time passes. The novelty and technical achievement of Ultra Hand and the physics engine may be seen as more impressive in the future,
disagree with that
but I think the game
bit.
itself will suffer as time highlights.
I think the massive amounts of criticism about its connections to the others to this its prequel will foreshadow it because it has nothing. There's the retconning is insane.
Right.
The sages that all of them are bad. Even the Vito one that just pushes you farther. Other than that, it's just bad. It's just, all the sages are worthless. And then
let me ask you a question. If they were to create another game like this, right? Like Breath of the Wild themed or Tears of the Kingdom themed, right? Like this. If you can think of it, and if you don't know, then I personally don't know. I can think of a couple of ideas actually. But if they were to create another open world game like this, what do you think that they could do to correct what they did in Tears of the Kingdom? What would you want to see?
Well, I want to see is it going to be a direct sequel or does its own standalone game?
No. It could be a direct either one. Either one. We'll go with that. Either one. What would you want to see?
I would like to see why. Okay, maybe there would be a middle game. So, because Borderlands has done this before, where they have the sequel and then they have the prequel to the sequel. Maybe we'll see what happened between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild and why the sages exist or why we care, like we forgot about the champions. Maybe then there'll be something in between because it's a huge jump. It's one huge jump. Hey, cool anime girls, what's up? Glad to see ya. Rim World, okay. What would I like to see? Actual game design that connects the games, any type of connection. Because when I played Tears of the Kingdom, it had good gameplay, sure. The gameplay, the sword fight is good, sure. But the lore is fucking awful. There's like no lore.
Yeah.
There's nothing at all. If they're going to make a prequel to the sequel, maybe they can tie in somehow. Like, well, that's what Borderlands did for Borderlands 2. They made Borderlands the pre-sequel, which is basically the prequel to the sequel. That was it was weird. It was weird.
Gotcha.
Because it explains the little Borderlands lore. It explains why Handsome Jack got the power. So maybe then with this, it'll explain something else. Hey Zero.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, cool anime girls. Hey, purple paw prints. But maybe with this sequel to the prequel, we'll figure out why the events were the way that they were, and we'll actually get connections to the lore. I want to.
Maybe.
I want to see lore. I want to see why it happened.
Yeah. Same.
Oh, me make cart. Me drive cart. Me fly plane. Okay. I don't care about the plane. I want to know what happened.
What do you mean? You don't want to see like people flying and building shit? You don't want to see giant penises? What?
No.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, people did that.
Yeah.
People did that.
Yeah, the wooden penis thing that killed like a Lionel. It was actually hilarious.
Yes. That was actually pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe they can explain why Cass isn't around, well, or what happened to the Divine Beast. Yes. Maybe in this prequel to the sequel, we'll find out what happened to all the Guardians, what they did with all the Divine Beasts. If there's
I would want to see a prequel too. Yeah, I would want to see a prequel too. Yes, I agree. Because I think, in all honesty, I think a prequel would make better sense, in my opinion too. I agree. In the sense of it would explain why things got left out in Tears of the Kingdom to a certain degree. Again, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. Are they going to get everything perfect with it? No. There are things that are going to get missed and people are going to be outraged and it's going to cause a huge issue, okay? It doesn't matter. Nintendo can't fucking win. It doesn't matter what they will do. They could win in some aspects, yes, but they're not going to win with everything, right? No game is perfect. But I think I agree. I think if they were to do a prequel, then they would need to do that. Now, a sequel, on the other hand, or another series game like this, they could probably explain it too, but they would have to go back have to go back somehow to explain different things or different flashbacks or whatever that they could possibly do to explain why these things are how they are or whatever. Yeah. They would have to figure that I'm sure that they could probably do it, but yeah. But they would have to do it in a way that would make sense. So
cool anime girls is dropping in chat. What happened to Divine Beast? Maybe they put the Divine Beast back to wherever they came from. Maybe explain why the helmet isn't important to the Gerudo anymore, which was you got back to that the sacred helmet from them to go who gives a fuck about this shit. And then maybe they could do some hints as the time travel to Tears of the Kingdom. Exactly. And there's
Mhm.
Clover, which I'll be banning in chat. Damn y'all talking about
No!
shit. I like.
No! No! You leave Clover alone. No! I'm gonna kick your ass. No,
I
you.
gotta ban her somewhere. I still haven't finished Tears
Why?
in the King. I don't know, because it's funny to ban her. It's like
What the hell did she
banning.
do to you?
Annoying me. No,
Okay.
Clover's chill. Clover's chill. I won't ban you this time. You got the K-Huck approval.
I mean, I know of her a little bit, but she's always been cool to me, or
Hey,
with me
Ivana.
anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe maybe the prequel will explain everything, and then maybe Tears of the
Yeah,
Kingdom would make more sense.
maybe. But again, it's gonna be to me. It's gonna have to be, and I'm sure this will probably be with you two and others. It's going to be a hard sell. They would have to be able to explain it in a way that's going to make sense. Now, that would also explain too and make sense as to why they did leave some stuff out if they are planning to have a prequel to both the games or this game or whatever they decide to do. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I agree.
as long as it explains why Tears of the Kingdom literally has nothing to do with anything, that'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly, Calamity Girls. How are there two Master Swords in one time? Yeah. Because with the Master Sword being in Zelda's forehead, that was weird. And her being in the sky until the events of Tears of the Kingdom, there has to be two Master Swords in Breath of the Wild. I mean, that's a fair assumption. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know though, but
Actually,
again,
maybe.
it would, yeah, they'd have to do a lot to explain it, but.
Yeah, and she goes, actually, maybe that's also why the Master Sword was so weak. Like, yes, it was probably weaker because of the battle where Link was killed in Breath of the Wild, but there's two swords that might explain why it was still really weak. Yeah, they have a lot of this. They have so much explaining to do, and it's just like they didn't do a good job with lore. There was no really any storytelling in this Breath of the Wild. Instead of Cass, you got some like eagle pelican looking guy that goes from stable to stable to get the
And I
frog
get
suit.
Launchpad vibes from him.
Yeah. It's like in Cass, I don't think I care about Cass as much as Cool Anime Girls, but I still like to know where he is because his children have been abandoned and his wife has been abandoned. That's
Very
not good
true.
etiquette. That's not good etiquette. L
Very true.
approved. L approved.
Yep. Please, and please tell me you know who I mean when I say Launchpad. Please tell me you know who I mean by that. You get that reference.
I know what you're talking about.
Bruh,
It's Daffy
you're
Duck.
gonna make my heart hurt.
It's the Daffy Duck little kids, right? With the Daffy Duck.
No.
Well, then what is it?
You're gonna make my heart hurt.
DuckTales, right?
Thank you. God. Jeez Louise, I was gonna have to make you stop everything and watch DuckTales. Okay, yes, thank you. You redeemed yourself.
DuckTales, yes.
Go ahead and play. Let's watch this. Oh Lord,
Age of Calamity kind of messed
this.
up the Breath of the timeline, honestly. Age isn't canon, luckily. Yeah, Age of Calamity is just I'm never gonna play it on stream. But yeah, it's not canon at all. But also doesn't explain anything and just make shit up. But
it's a prequel to the events of Breath of the Wild, and that's about it.
And even then, it's a prequel that's not even canon approved.
Yeah.
So why make
it? Yeah.
Highlights more and more of its flaws. If anything, I think Breath of the Wild will be seen more favorably in comparison. I think that's already happening. Negative Tears of the Kingdom videos keep releasing, even now. What's most interesting to me is who's making these videos. The people that are complaining are the ones who started playing with Breath of the Wild or who liked Breath of the Wild. The YouTubers that built their career off of it. It's not just the classic Zelda fans that are having a fit, it's now the Breath of the Wild fans that have found common cause with those classic Zelda fans against Tears of the Kingdom. I think that's evidence that there's a different problem. With the release of Tears of the Kingdom and now Echoes of Wisdom, everybody is wondering what's next. Everyone has a think piece, everyone has an opinion about where the series should go. This video is my contribution to that discussion.
Dungeons, okay. We're starting off with dungeons.
Way to start off.
To begin with, I think it's important to recognize that the next 3D Zelda game will be open world. It will be like Breath of the Wild, it will not be like Ocarina of Time. They may change the art style, they may change weapon breaking, it may be set in a different version of Hyrule, or not in Hyrule at all.
True.
But it will still be a large open world with the ability to climb any terrain. Given these constraints, what I want is what I've always wanted. I want to take what classic Zelda games did well and apply them to the current open world formula. I want a better, more linear story, and better, more linear dungeons with puzzles that can't be easily circumvented. I think we're at a point where these are not controversial desires.
Oh yeah, because the thing about the shrines in Tears of the Kingdom, you can just literally cheese the shit out of it with a rocket shield, and then just fly to the end. You didn't actually have to use your brain at all.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. And also, is that a cool aspect to have that some people actually did like in those? And that aspect and did like about it? Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's but in all honesty, Zelda fans and any person that has played Zelda, multiple Zelda games, loves a challenge, a good challenge, right? A challenge that makes sense, a puzzle that makes sense, or that is linear, like what he said, linear to the story, or linear to the world that you're in, or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what Breath of the Wild had. Breath of the Wild had world-themed shrines, depending on where you were at. Like they had Elden Ring-themed shrines, like right before you get to Elden Volcano, right? Like when you go to the stable, and they had that kind of thing, prepping you for what world you're about to enter into and what is going to potentially happen, right? They had a lot of that happen, and with Zora's Domain, they did it with Zora's Domain too. They did it with all of them. They had some aspect of the world that you are getting ready to enter into or are in. They had those elements in there. Tears of the Kingdom did not have any of that. They did not, or they had very little of it if they did. So
the most that had the most story was, ironically, Zora's Domain, with Sidon having a wife or a girlfriend. Other than that, what did you know about Rito Village? Oh, go find the little kid. What did you know about Elden? Go save you. Go attack the president. The stupid Goron guy with the stupid mask, because he's stupid and dumb. And then go over to the desert, go navigate the sandstorm. Well, that one was pretty based. Navigate the sandstorm to get to the Gerudo village, and then fend off Gerudo village. But the one with the most story was Zora's Domain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I agree.
She's his fiance. Okay, well, same difference. But there's no Stone Tower, hard as hell dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're all linear. The only one that was quote unquote hard was the Fire Temple, but that's because it was stupidly confusing. Other than that,
and
it was easy.
And yes, Cool Enemy Girls, I 100% agree with you. Not gonna lie, you still can't convince me Sidon has something for Link, though. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Why is there a statue of them together made in Tears of the Kingdom? Okay? What does that tell you? Come on now.
The Diddler, ready or not.
You know what? It's not what I said. That is not what I said. You disavow, fucker. Yeah. But no, Sidon is gay for Link, like 100%. Yes, I agree
The
with that
Sidon
wholeheartedly.
gay allegations, dude. That's gonna be the first Zelda theory on the channel. Is
That has been a
Sidon?
theory. Well, not here, but yeah, that has been a theory in general, though. It has been.
Okay, I'm gonna be like
There's
Andy Pants
canon of that.
Gaming. I'm gonna be Andy Pants Gaming. Zelda's now becoming woke. It has LGBTQ
Oh,
in
Jesus
it.
fucking Christ. Don't even get me started on that motherfucker. Do not.
It's a,
I
why
will
is
get all
Zelda?
sorts of
Why does
wild up.
Echo of Wisdom have Zelda as the protagonist? Link, they're
That's
becoming
exactly what he
woke.
did! He already bitched him.
Wait, that's actually something he did?
Yes! Yes!
No, I was making a joke. I didn't know my joke
No,
was
he did!
real.
No, he did! The fucking moron. Yes, he did. Don't even get me started on all of that. Just don't. Like,
Okay.
I could go on and on and
My joke
on.
had some reality in it, I guess. Jesus Christ.
Yes, he did. Fucking
Their
moron.
benefits are obvious to everyone, whether they like classic Zelda games or not. Nintendo won't compromise when it comes to player freedom. It is a guiding principle.
Yes,
in
Cool
their
Anime
modern
Girls,
Zelda
he did
games.
that too.
They won't budge when it comes to the open world. But I think they can be convinced when
There's
it
a
comes
ladder,
to the
you
dungeons.
fucking
They might have already
mope.
been convinced. Breath of the Wild
Hey,
introduced
you
the
know
divine
what?
beasts.
People like to climb,
They sucked.
okay?
They were tiny, they had almost no enemies, no real challenge to speak of. They all shared the same hideous aesthetic, and they culminate in 4 unmemorable, ugly bosses that nobody cares about or likes. They really were the opposite
like
of what
the-
a
I
Zelda
like the
dungeon is
air
supposed to
one.
be. For Tears of the Kingdom, though, Nintendo said before release that there were traditional Legend of Zelda dungeons in the game. There weren't, but you can tell that they tried. The problem is that the dungeons were still short, they still amount to activating 4 unconnected switches that can be activated in any order, and any puzzle in the dungeon can be circumvented or ignored with the use of Ultra Hand and Auto Build. It does not tap into the appeal of classic Zelda dungeons. Their appeal is that
game's
they're beautiful,
based.
they're
It's
lengthy,
boring, but
they're multi-level
based.
labyrinths that you like exploring. They don't have 4 unrelated puzzles, rather they have a series of linear puzzles that build on related mechanics. Modern Zelda games really don't want you to get stuck on a puzzle. They want every puzzle to have multiple solutions. But there's
The
a
most
difference
useful
between every
sage,
puzzle
by the
having
way.
multiple solutions and every puzzle having the same 4
you know
solutions.
That guy.
That's the problem
Yeah,
Tears of the
Yunobo,
Kingdom
he's
has.
so useful. Look
I
at him.
recognize
He's-
effort was made to differentiate them from the
Oh.
divine beasts, but I don't think half measures will work here. Dungeons need restrictions. You can have
Anybody
your open
remember
world.
Synthetic
You can have
Man's
the
video
total
on Tears
player
of the
freedom
Kingdom? Oh,
Breath
I
of the Wild
do.
and Tears of the Kingdom
Pause it for a
embody.
second.
Is that the
Did you
L
ever see
word?
what?
Where he like compares Zelda to the L word that I'm not gonna say on my channel anymore?
I don't know what you mean by the L word. You want to message that to me? I have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe I do, and I'm just not thinking properly.
That word.
Hold on. Oh no, no.
Okay, so that's
no.
a different video where he compared Zelda to that. Okay.
That I didn't know if that is what he did. I did not know that. But what I think what May 1st is referring to is when the game first came out, he tried to say that it was woke because of the I know that it was because of like what's that girl's name from the Gerudo clan? What is her name? Riju. Riju was involved because her skin was too dark or something like that. The video was atrocious, just absolutely fucking atrocious. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. Synthetic Man is Andy Pants' child. That's think Andy Pants and Synthetic Man, they're one and the same. Yep. I know. I feel your brain rot. I know.
What the
that
hell?
happened.
I don't even know.
It's been a minute since I've seen it, but I think I don't think I ended up watching the whole thing because I just couldn't do it. But it was something like that. It was like Riju's skin was too dark. There was some other things that he bitched about in there too that I just can't think of right now. But yeah, I know Riju was one of them that he bitched about.
Yeah, I don't know. Synthetic Man is just another worthless guy. Sorry, I got sent a video where it's called Himpleton's Exiled X Mod, and it has nothing to do with
Oh,
Himpleton. It's Ollie, who is my Exiled X Mod. So I don't even know why Himpleton was even named in the channel. It's about
oh,
Ollie. That's my X Mod.
oh.
So he just got it all wrong. Vincent Martin made a video, Himpleton's Exiled X Mod, and it has nothing to do with Himpleton.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, Synthetic Man, yeah, he compared Zelda and then tried to say like the L word and like how since Zelda's the L word that I'm not saying on my channel anymore, and then started to defend the L word.
No.
Yes.
Oh, that I didn't know. I
Yes,
don't
he
want to know.
defended.
I
He
didn't want to
defended
know
the
that.
L
I was
word.
perfectly, bruh.
He defended the
I
L
was
word.
I was perfectly okay not knowing that. I was, damn you, Burn. I did not know that. That's, oh god.
The dreaded L word, chat.
The
You guys
dreaded
all
L
know.
word.
You
Yeah,
guys
you'll know.
know. You know. Okay, but you
Yeah.
hate Twilight Princess, but skip the story part. But let's skip the story part and focus on the dungeons. Twilight Princess is bad. Let's continue with the video.
But in the dungeons at least,
Okay.
there's a need for linearity. Player freedom is not a synonym for good. There are places where restrictions are necessary and beneficial for the player experience. And Nintendo knows that. They already enforce those restrictions for the sake of puzzles. In shrines, you can't climb walls. You can't use auto-build. You
Yeah,
can't use
that
the
was
Zonai
dumb.
devices that you found outside the shrine. And there are many that will actively take things away from you in order to force you to use what's inside the shrine. If you ask people, what's your favorite Breath of the Wild shrine? Many will tell you it's Eventide Island. Which is funny because
Yes!
Eventide Island takes away all your weapons, your armor, your
Love
ability to save,
Eventide.
and yet everybody loves it. The same thing applies to the Great Plateau. It's many people's favorite area, and what they remember about Breath of the Wild most fondly. And that's even though you are the most restricted you will ever be. I don't think there's any reason why we can't have both. By all means, shower me with the virtues of unmitigated freedom for 90% of the game. Let me choose where to go, and give me options of what...
There's manga? Okay, there's manga based off Twilight Princess? You're banned
Is there?
for telling me that. You're banned for telling me that. No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Don't
I know
believe
there's
you.
manga.
And no, she's not wrong. I will not let you. No.
I know there's
No.
manga. I know there's manga of Zelda. I got from like my 2 Christmases ago. My brother thought it would be funny to give, knowing that I don't like manga or anime. He gave me I think it's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask manga book, and then he gave me a Phantom Hourglass manga book from like a mall.
Oh, Jesus.
So I know there's Zelda manga books out there, but I don't read them, and I'm gonna probably burn them live on camera for 500 subscribers. I'll
Oh,
burn them
Jesus
inside my
Christ.
house.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that what your goal is going to be when you hit 500 subs? You're going to burn
500
them?
subs.
Okay.
There'll be a fire pit in my room, with the Zelda manga that doesn't exist.
Do not pull an iShow Speed or any of those dumb streamers who do stupid shit like that. Do not. Kaisenot, do not. I will kill you. And no, Cool Anime Girls is not wrong. I will not let you. Why would you ban one of our favorite people? Why?
That is
One of
true.
our
We are
favorite Zelda
live.
supporters.
We are
Hi.
live.
Okay.
I
That's
heard
not-
that somebody got banned.
Flatly.
Who is this?
Flatly.
No,
I'm
no one
live
got
because-
banned. No one got banned. He's wanting to ban Cool Anime Girls for her saying about Zelda manga.
Okay.
No
have
one is
2
getting
copies
banned.
of that. Do you guys have complete editions of that? I actually have 2 copies of that.
No, I do not. But Cool Anime Girls posted it in my Discord. I remember that. She did that like a couple weeks ago. I do not have any of the manga, no. I have the complete history book, but I don't have any of that, no.
Are we
Nope.
live?
Yes, we're
Yes!
live. So,
Oh.
So that
Flatly.
3 times now.
Do you want me here? I can leave.
No, thank you, Flatly, for calling in.
Damn.
Anyway, anyway, and I might have to make a
Damn.
Zeldacast Discord.
You what?
I might have to make a Zeldacast Discord.
Oh,
So,
Jesus.
I was
I
set
was
up.
set
Yeah,
up.
you
How were
were.
you set up, Flatly? How were you set up? Oh, that's funny.
Flatly, you're based, though. Thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it. Next time, go to priority waiting. So don't just
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah. Butthead. Anyway.
Wait. But yes, before you get defensive on that, Twilight Princess manga. Nope, I'm actually say the game is better than the manga because I'd rather play the game than read a book. Sorry. Why would I read a book if I can just play the game?
Fair. But, I mean, I understand why people want to read listen, the Zelda books are cool. The complete history one is actually really neat. I do like it. I haven't read it in a while, but I mean, they have different books for different video game series too. Like they have a Gears of War book series. They have I'm sure that they have it. I don't know how many. A Halo one. You know, there's all sorts of different video game book series out there.
I don't understand though, because then no, sorry, maybe I'm just like uber stupid and I don't understand. But why would I ever read a book? It's like there's board games of video games. Why would I play the board game of like Zelda when I could just play the video game? Why would I read the book when I could just go on my computer, go on my Switch that I have right here, right now, and just play the video game? Why would I sit down, put on my reading glasses,
not
and
wrong.
go, Zelda says.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, yeah, that's just, again, I understand where you're coming from with that. I do. But I think that for, people like to read. I just, or, that's the only thing I got. I mean, yeah, I get what you mean. I do. But are you like kind of against it because the books aren't really going to have, like, okay, well, no, hold on. Let me just ask you this then. Why are you against the books? Or why do you not want to read any of them?
Because one, they have Link talking, which never happens. Two, they're not lore based. I read the only book that my brother gave me, knowing that I don't like manga. So he just trolled me on Christmas because asshole brother. I read through the Twilight, not the Twilight Prince. I read through the Phantom Hourglass one. All the events are wrong. Nothing makes any sense because I played the game for over it's almost 20 years now because I played 2007. Now we're almost 2027. I played that game for a long time.
Oh
so when I read the book and I go like, well, Gleeok is not before the Dodongo. Why would I go to the Gleeok first? And then it doesn't show the stone soldier at all, and it just goes right to Bellum, and then Bellum back, and then it goes back to fighting Bellum, and Bellum's talk. Yeah, it's like no, none of this makes sense. This is not.
No, I get that. No, and I totally understand that. If that's what your opinion is, then obviously that's all well and good. But again, like when it comes, I understand like with certain books though about not just Zelda but any books in general about a beloved franchise game series, right? I understand that it's going to get its scrutiny and whatever, but I mean like I said, there were. That, in all honesty, the complete history of Zelda is the only one that I have Zelda-related book-wise. So, I'm sure that there are others, but I just don't have any. I'm interested to see what they have in them, though. They could be good. You never know.
Maybe, you know what? New goal. At 500, I'll do a manga review.
Oh my god.
I'll do a manga review, and then I'll do the fire pit because that's what they go.
Dude, I can hear you screaming already. I can already hear you screaming and yelling already. I can hear it in my head.
I'll have to get a camera and set it up. So I have to I have the camera set down, and the book would be on the computer or on the desk, and I'll go page by page, and I'll then at the end I'm gonna rip the book in half because I know everything's wrong in the book, and then
I can totally see that happening. Yes,
so at 500 manga review, We're gonna do something that Mama Max couldn't do. Mom,
Jesus!
Mom,
fucking hell! Just
Z-
play the video, damn it!
Dungeons to tackle.
Zelda
But inside of those
review,
dungeons,
500.
I want a more focused
You're done!
experience. A dungeon needs to be atmospheric, reflecting the environment it's found in. It needs to
That's
be
a good
visually
dungeon.
distinct from all other dungeons.
Temple.
It has to have a variety of enemies adapted to that area, and it absolutely needs puzzles that I need to interact with and solve. It's fine if those puzzles have more than one solution, but it's not fine if the same set of solutions can be used to circumvent or ignore every puzzle.
Also, Flatly, you're good, bro. It's honest mistake.
The combat in modern Zelda games sucks. There are only 3 weapon types: one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, and spears. Which means that there are only 3 movesets that you're expected to make do with for the entire game.
True.
Each weapon category attacks in the same way. Every one-handed weapon, be it a sword, a club, a sickle, or the Master Sword itself, shares the same 4-hit combo. Spears all do the same pokes, and two-handers do the same lethargic 2 swings over and over. The heavy attacks for all these weapons are the same, with maybe one exception, and this gets boring very quickly for a game that you could be playing for hundreds of hours.
Yeah,
Especially when
that
having your
hammer.
weapons break and finding new ones is such an important part of the reward system. A game this size needs to have a bigger weapon variety. Add fist weapons, separate the swords and the club moveset. Add in rapiers and axes, each with their own distinct moveset. We need at least 10 more. The way that each weapon attacks also isn't great. For example, one-handers root you to the ground, giving you no forward momentum. The final hit to these combos usually knock the enemy away. If it's an enemy with a lot of HP, this creates an annoying situation where you go up to it, knock it away with your attacks, then you have to stop, shuffle towards it, before you can resume attacking. It's even more annoying with two-handed weapons since it has this anemic 2-hit combo that will have you chasing enemies. I've always described the attacks in Breath of the Wild as rooting you to the earth, but until I worked on this video I never understood why it felt so restricting. But I figured it out. You can't move or change the direction of your attacks once you begin a combo. You're locked in that direction until the combo is done, which is such a strange, arbitrary restriction that only serves to make the combat feel worse. Look at Elden Ring in comparison. You can change the direction of your combo attack freely and it feels much more natural.
Elden Ring. Elden Ring's
it would
off
also
Dark
be nice if we
Souls.
had more things to swing at.
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild was criticized for its small enemy roster.
It's been argued
Tears of the
that
Kingdom didn't
Breath
do
of the
much
Wild
to
was
improve
based
on
off of Dark Souls.
You are still going to be primarily
Or the
fighting the
gameplay
same
was.
3 groups of enemies over and over. It is still the smallest roster in any Zelda game, and it's especially egregious when you consider the incredible length modern Zelda games have. So not only are there fewer enemies, but you are also stuck with each for much longer. In my initial Tears of the Kingdom playthrough, I kept hearing about pirates having attacked a village in the south. Lots of NPCs kept mentioning it and directing me there. In my mind I was like, cool, pirates, this must be a new enemy type, maybe even something like the Gerudo pirates from Majora's Mask. So you can imagine my disappointment when I finally get to Lorellan Village and see the same stupid pile of Lyssophos and Bokoblins. The Gyptos are a step in the right direction, because they're adapted to the desert and aren't found in other regions. This is what I want. In older Zelda games, you'd find enemies endemic to biomes and dungeons that you'd...
The only problem I have with the Gyptos is that they're fucking bugs and not just dead mummies. Why they're bugs at all is beyond me. Why
okay, that's a fair point.
Why do they, instead of being a dead creature, why is it being spawned out of a spore tree?
No, that's fair.
What lore did that come from? What lore did that come from?
I don't know. We'll have to. You know what? We'll have to see if we can find a video on that and see if we can watch it and react to it. That's a good one to react to.
Yeah, because I want to know why. Like, because in Majora's Mask, if you burn a Gypto, it becomes a re-dead. So why are in this game there are bug things that come out of spore trees, and the boss is just a big bug.
Oh, I did like the concept of the Gyptos in Tears of the Kingdom. I thought that was actually really cool. I did like it. But I get what you mean, though, too. Yeah. I see what you mean, yeah. I see what you mean. Like, they completely, in your opinion, you would think that they just completely 180'd the Gibdos of what they were initially, right?
Yeah. I mean, do you see that? That's a Gibdo, but do you see that thing at... Well, no, technically it's a re-dead, but that's not a fucking bug.
True. Fair. No, hey, I see your point, yeah.
You'd rarely see elsewhere. This has a huge effect on a game's atmosphere because then you're not just dealing with demons spawned by Ganon, you're dealing with animals adapted to the area. Imagine if the jungle biome had Dekubabas and Skulltulas, or if the mountain had Dundongos and the desert had Levers. Modern Zelda games would benefit from this even more than the classic ones did, because one of the greatest strengths of Breath of the Wild is its atmosphere. There's a powerful slowness to it, an immersion that no other Zelda game can match.
Don't tell Joe that.
So more variety would not just make the combat.
I will say this. I was gonna mention this earlier, but I forgot until just now. I love the music that is in Breath of the Wild, though, is really cool. And I like how people have taken different, like, and have remixed it and have taken it to, like, a more relaxing approach with it. I do like that, though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
But don't tell Joe that. He'll fight you on it.
Why?
Because he thinks Breath of the Wild is boring and empty, even though that's how it's supposed to be. But...
Oh. Well, I know that, but does he have a problem with the music itself, or just the game?
Just the gameplay, because Joe's a stupid head dummy.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but you said it, not me. No, we love Joe. Joe's awesome.
Joe's best.
No, Joe is cool. You know what? I'm not speaking of Joe briefly, just for a minute. I've told him this, so this isn't anything new, but I wasn't sure how to feel about him at first, because he came on to, like, one of my streams in my chat, like, oh god, how long ago was this now?
Well, I think
almost a year ago?
I think it is a year.
Almost.
He called in and made fun of Nerdy John.
Yeah, I think it was like a year ago now, almost a year ago, and I wasn't sure how to feel about him and everything, but now I just adore him. He's great. He's amazing. I love Joe.
Joe's based, and what would it be without good old Joe?
Very true. That's my glazing. There you go, chat. Burn got to glaze earlier, now I'm glazing.
Less empty and more real. There's one more thing we need more variety of, and that is skills. In Twilight Princess, there were 7 hidden skills that you could add to your swordplay. They were things like doing huge damage to an enemy that's knocked down, doing a shield bash to try and break through an enemy's guard, dashing behind an enemy to attack at their back, things like that. They really opened up and added another dimension to combat. And as we have lots of different weapon types, there could be unique skills for each different weapon, really expanding the way that each weapon plays. Maybe even giving each weapon a use case that the others don't have. And it could help address the rewards problem. We'll talk more about that later, but Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have terrible rewards, maybe one of the worst reward systems of any open world game. There's simply not enough stuff to give to people. And so having different weapon skills available for each different kind of weapon would go a long way to giving people the kind of permanent rewards that they'll be happy with. As for the difficulty, in the early stages of Breath of the Wild, I thought its difficulty was perfect. The combat is simple, and the stealth system is simple, but it's also unforgiving. For many of the early hours, you'll have no access to good armor, limited access to weapons, and you won't have accumulated many food items. Even if you did have a lot of healing, their utility at that point is limited since your armor and health...
Yep.
I think that is why, and me, this could just be me, this could just be a hot take, I don't know, but I think that's what the appeal of Breath, that's why people were drawn to it, was because of that, was that appeal factor to it. It was very, again, I've said this before, Zelda fans love a challenge, right? And I think that when you were thrown into that with, like, very little shields or very little armor or whatever it was, I think that was a major appeal to it when you first started playing it, because you had to build your own and get your own and fight for your own. armor and stuff, and shields and weapons and things of that nature. I do like that aspect of it, and I do like that they brought that over with Tears of the Kingdom. Kind of, not really. They kind of did that with the Sky Island, of course, but yeah, I think that was one of the major appeals of it, obviously. But that could just be me. So
I did like the difficulty at first as well. I mean, like when you fight a blue bokoblin on the snowy region, like that was an actual fight, and one hit is death. So like you don't want to get hit at all, you know.
Yeah, true.
Sorry, I'm getting a little sick. But definitely when you get off the island, you know, off the plateau, you can go in any direction. It can go harder. If you go north towards Rito too early, you can find like people with soldier bows, for example, or night bows. But that's if you go in that direction. With Tears, it just immediately drops you off. You can find a black enemy, a black bokoblin, in 5 seconds. It's like, this is not even like why this early? There's no balancing. There's no balancing.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing a blue bokoblin like one though is pretty cool, but seeing like a pack of black bokoblins, it's like, dude, I just started. What's this
I agree. Yeah. I agree. But with this, with what they did with Breath of the Wild, I do like that aspect of it. But yeah, I agree. It got a bit messy in Tears. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you ready?
Health are so low that some encounters will one-shot you, or come close to one-shotting you. You don't have access yet to Mipha's Grace or fairies, and you don't even know that they exist. In this early environment, attacking an enemy encampment is a joy. It requires a plan, and for the plan to go well, you can use your bow to silence the lookouts, use stealth with your strongest weapon to remove the highest tier enemy or the enemy carrying the most dangerous weapon, and then grab that weapon before the enemies can use it against you. If you mess up, the stronger enemies will kill you in 1 or 2 swings, which means engaging in direct combat requires you to be proficient in the game's mechanics. Each of these systems is simple, with very little complexity, but almost every encounter had me using all of them, and that's all I ever want in my video games. I just want to have reasons to use the mechanics they present me with.
Okay.
If you go back to the early reviews for Breath of the Wild, you'll find almost all of them describe what I'm talking about. They described the combat as difficult and unforgiving, and that's because they were reviewing Breath of the Wild as it exists in the early game. They likely hadn't gotten to the endgame by the time they made those reviews. Sadly, this state of affairs doesn't last very long as you start acquiring armor, food items, champion abilities, and weapons. Dying becomes next to impossible. The food items heal a lot. In fact, you can make food items that heal more than all of your health.
What's up?
And you can carry more than you'll ever need. This means the only threats are enemies that do so much damage it catches you off guard, but in those cases you have Mipha's Grace or fairies to revive you. The difficulty that existed in the early game just disappears, which means that the game that those early reviewers were talking about doesn't exist 10 hours into the game. For a game that people play for hundreds of hours, I think that's a problem. Now, of course, it's normal and good for you to acquire resources and equipment that makes the game easier as you progress. I wouldn't want to be stuck constantly struggling for your whole playthrough. But I also think the process of getting comfortable with the game should be more gradual than what Breath of the Wild provided. You shouldn't be almost unkillable so quickly unless you're really trying, really familiar with the game's mechanics and are trying to exploit them. It shouldn't be the experience for the casual player. So here's what I would do to solve this problem. We need a dedicated healing button. The healing needs to be separated away from the food as a mechanic. Ingredients and food and cooking should still be in the game, but they should be relegated to giving you stat buffs, not healing. Food can do all of the things that it already does, just with the healing aspect removed from it. Attack up, electric resistance, fire.
I don't understand what he's trying to say. Maybe this is me being stupid.
It should. I think what he's trying to say is that the food.
Go ahead.
The food shouldn't. The food shouldn't be the only thing that heals you, or the main thing that heals you. There should be other healing aspects, but then there's fairies though too. To be fair, So I don't know what he's wanting. Maybe he explains. Go ahead, continue. Maybe he
Fire
explains a little bit
resistance,
better.
increased stealth, and really they should introduce many more effects than they have currently. Like an effect that makes your sneak strikes do more damage for the duration, one that increases your maximum stamina for a period of time. I think they could go a lot further with the cooking system. But for the healing, it needs to be more simple. I'd like it to function like the healing flasks from Elden Ring. And I'm not saying that just for the sake of making the game harder or for balance. It would make the gameplay feel better. How Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom play currently is too heavily reliant on opening menus. Every time you want to fuse an arrow, you have to open a menu and go choose the type. Every time you want to switch weapons,
maybe he's asking for a dedicated button to get food quickly, so you didn't have to stop, pause the game, go to the menu, go flick, and then you have to find your food or your apple, for example. He wants a dedicated button to make it faster. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes better sense.
I approve of that one.
And none of it feels worse than when you're stuffing your face full of healing items every time you take a big hit. It's so weird to me that Breath of the Wild went this route. When before this, many of their past titles seem to understand that opening up a menu to do things is bad. So, for example, in Wind Waker, you're able to switch between regular fire and ice arrows at the push of a button, which was a big improvement from having to go into the menu like in Ocarina of Time. When Ocarina of Time 3D came out, they let you tie iron boots to a button press, so you don't have to go into the menu and take them on and off every time. Skyward Sword had the best healing that we have so far. Because the healing was happening in real time, you had to do it during combat. The only problem with it was that you would have to choose amongst your various bottles if you had different potions of different types. But this wouldn't be a problem if we just separate the buffs and the healing to two different things. You would only have healing potions at the push of a button. And if you wanted a buff, then you could go through the menu. You would still be going through menus to get those food buffs, but I think it would be a big improvement than what we're doing now. This has an additional benefit of being able to put more rewards in the overworld, which, as I mentioned before, I think is something that is sorely needed. So maybe we start out with 3 bottles, and you'd be able to get more bottles as rewards for quests or out in the overworld, and maybe even have a resource to upgrade those bottles, increasing the potency of the healing. Since I keep talking about needing more meaningful rewards, we have to talk about the reward structure in the modern Zelda games. First, I suppose let's talk about weapon durability. This isn't a critique of weapon durability, I'm not saying it should be removed, but I am saying it contributes to the problem. So we'll have to explain how.
Okay.
One of the biggest appeals in open world games is the sense of freedom and the sense of exploration. Players can go where they want and do what they want, and the ability to see an interesting landmark in the distance and actually reach it to reap rewards adds to that experience.
Okay.
For the developers, the challenge is how to reward the player for their exploration. What do you give them when they go to that landmark? If the world is vast and stunning, it needs to be filled with things for the player to find. This is a challenge that every open world game faces, and they all attempt to solve it in different ways.
That's true, that's fair.
Breath of the Wild's solution is to give all the weapons a shelf life. If all weapons have a limited lifespan, then they become a resource that players must constantly replenish. While this is an effective solution to the open world problem, it comes with drawbacks. The biggest one is that eventually, players will acquire enough good weapons that it becomes not worth engaging in combat.
Oh my god! K-Hug sounds like a jean jacket salesman. Okay, shadow humor.
Jesus.
That's so random. But no, I think that, okay, so I think we've talked about this before. Maybe we haven't, I don't know. But the breaking of the weapons, I understand to a certain degree why they did that, because they don't want you relying on just one weapon, right? Mm-hmm. Or a certain weapon or whatever. But the only problem that, and again, I get that, but the problem that was in Tears of the Kingdom and in Breath of the Wild was that it was hard to find those weapons again, right? Just naturally. Or even with, and now that there's amiibos, you can use amiibos if you wanted to, but that's not, a natural way to get a weapon, obviously. Those are fun, don't get me wrong, but yeah. It's but that's the drawback to it, and they break very easily depending on the weapon. You have to like save your weapon in order to use it later. You have to strategize when you can use it or whatever. But yeah, that's the drawback to it. I agree.
Yeah. I thought at first the breaking the weapons was kind of stupid, but then, like when you think about it, it's like now I have to utilize what weapon for what time of what use I needed to use, like
Right.
sorry, all the thunder blades before they got rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Those were probably the best blades, and you utilize that for silver enemies that come at you, or the black enemies that come at you, disarm them, and then you keep disarming them. So that it
Mm-hmm.
gave you like it gave you thoughts of is this weapon good for this time? Do I really need to use it? Can I use something
Yes.
else? So
Mm-hmm.
it gave you like a
Yeah. Exactly.
strategy. It gave you a strategy. But it was still stupid that they broke. The stupidest thing of all is that the Master Sword broke. Why? Why did I have to wait
Yeah. Right.
15
Yeah.
minutes to use it again?
Well,
So,
and not only that, but yeah. Well, no, I agree. But here's the thing, though, right? I think that they wanted to add a fault system, if you will, to the weapons, right?
mm,
The Master Sword being one of them has its quote unquote faults, right? It can only last for so long, and then you have
okay,
to let it recharge and whatever.
which
But
can take
when
15
you're
minutes.
in, yeah, but here's the thing though, but more importantly, if you were in the middle of a major battle, like with, when this happened in Breath of the Wild, when you got near Hyrule Castle, it lit
Mhm.
up, right? It would light up, or when you fought the Thunderblight cannons and stuff like that, it would light up then too, right?
Yeah,
But and it would still be, you could still use it during the battle. It wouldn't lose its charge or whatever you want to call it. But if you used it outside of that, which most people did, and I did, I will admit, then yeah, it would only last for so long, and they would have to, sit and you have to let it sleep or rest or whatever the fuck, and that was dumb. I agree, but I don't know. I think that if they were to make, I don't know. See, I'm kind of torn on that though too. I'm torn on that argument a little bit.
yeah. But I don't know. I think there's a good concept for the Master Sword, but make it but why 15 minutes before I get to use it again?
Yeah, that's fair.
Exploration is still present, but if players encounter a group of enemies, a bokoblin camp for example, then they have to make a resource calculation in their heads. They need to consider whether the weapons dropped by the enemies are better than the ones they already have. And very early in the game, the answer to that question becomes no. Now that would be fine because typically there should be other rewards
Damn.
other than just the weapons that you're getting from the encounter. For example, if you clear a camp, a treasure chest will open up. The problem is that the chest won't have anything worthwhile. It'll have 5 fire arrows or something. And so the problem is that these encounters won't have meaningful rewards either with the weapons that you get or the ostensive reward like the chest that you're supposedly working towards. And this isn't something that happens late into the game. You will quickly realize that you're expected to be intrinsically motivated. That you're doing these things not for the rewards, but for just the joy of doing it. And in my opinion, that's just not good enough. Imagine instead these things were filled with the kinds of rewards I've been describing. Let's say in Kakariko Village there's a sword master, and he tells you, go clear out these bokoblin encampments in this area, and I'll teach you this cool move. Or you open the chest and it has a upgrade that increases your healing
Hold on,
flask's
Vern.
ability.
Pause the video for a second.
What's up?
Someone came in here to crash.
Oh.
And I woke up and realized I ate half my pillow.
Oh my god.
What's up, Mr. Hawk?
You want to say hi? You say hi? Here. Put that. Go ahead.
Hi, Vern.
What's up, man? What's up, buddy?
How goes the herpes slaying?
Would you stop that? I knew you were going to bring that up.
I've slayed a lot of them, I promise.
Oh god. Burn, don't say that. Burn, no. Burn, no. Burn, no.
You gotta get that.
Burn, no. No.
There we go.
May I help you, sir? We're in the middle of something.
Just came down here because I woke up and couldn't sleep.
Oh, okay.
And to see what y'all were doing.
Okay. Well, we're reacting to a video about the future I want for Zelda games by this creator, and we like what we're seeing so far. So we're almost at the end of it. Go ahead, Burn. Go ahead.
Oh, about the. You told me to pause. I didn't. Oh, what I was saying is that this guy used a bright cap and thought something would happen. That's what I said. It's like, well, that's not going to do anything.
Oh,
that was a stupid idea. Who thought that was going to do anything?
yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, that was dumb. I agree. Or maybe they just wanted to see what would happen, which I would want to see what happens too. I get it though.
Burn, what the fuck? Best of luck to you. Hairspray and a lighter. Okay, but fuck. Now it's over. Now it's over.
Jesus Christ.
Now we know what shadow humor does. You kind of outed yourself
Right?
there, buddy.
Told on himself. He sure did. He sure did.
In that case, I would be happy to do it. Then I'm happy to waste my weapons durability, because I'm trading them for something of greater value to me. I have a similar problem with shrines. Shrines also contribute to the lack of meaningful rewards, because then shrines are the only place that have restricted puzzles, and they limit the availability of heart pieces to only shrines. So they're no longer in the overworld as part of environmental puzzles, they're no longer rewards for quests. I'm not saying that we should get rid of shrines altogether, but can't we cut them in half and use the development time that would have gone to those shrines to make really big dungeons? Then we can repurpose the heart pieces that would have been in those shrines and sprinkle them across the overworld. In this way, we can put them to better use. We can give them as rewards for minigames, for environmental puzzles, and most importantly, quests, which currently have the worst kind of rewards, and I basically consider them to have no rewards at all. Alright, finally let's talk about the story.
Okay.
I think the biggest weakness of modern Zeldas is their stories. For the moment, I'm not talking about the quality of their plots, I'm talking about their structure. There's a problem with how they tell their stories. In Breath of the Wild, the story isn't told to you over the course of the game. Instead, after the Great Plateau, the king will give you an exposition dump that explains the entire story all at once. He tells you about Calamity Ganon, he tells you about their efforts to prepare, he tells you about the Divine Beasts, how they were taken over, their champions were killed, and you were gravely injured. Finally, he tells you that Zelda is still at the castle using her power to hold Calamity Ganon at bay. It's done this way so that you have all the necessary information to go anywhere. You can tackle the Divine Beasts in any order, or even immediately finish the game. The problem with this approach is that it makes all other story-relevant information optional. All it can do is add context, but it can't change the nature of your quest or provide you with new goals. It can't affect what you're currently doing. You've already been told what to do. Go take on the Divine Beast or fight the last boss. Why is this a problem? Well, because then you can't deviate from that. For example, in Ocarina of Time, the initial goal is to gather 3 spiritual stones. This would let you open the Door of Time, enter the Sacred Realm, and claim the Triforce before Ganondorf does. This plan goes awry as opening the door leads to Ganondorf getting the Triforce, and you are trapped for 7 years as your body matures so you can face him. The world has changed in those 7 years, and as a result, so have your goals. No longer do you have a childish plan to stop an ambiguous evil. Ganondorf won. The results of his rule are everywhere. You are now trying to gather the strength to stop him by finding the sages that will help you seal him away. This is an advantage that every previous Zelda game could make use of. Wind Waker transitions from a story of saving your sister to a story of you using the Master Sword by initiating new sages. Twilight Princess starts with
and then that transitions into treasure hunting for the fucking Triforce pieces, and it becomes a very boring game. Midna, your favorite game's boring. Anyway.
Wanting to collect fused shadows. When that fails, your goal becomes collecting the Twilight Mirror shards to go into the Twilight Realm. This rising action in a story arc is not something Breath of the Wild can do. It's so focused on your freedom to do anything that it restricts what it can do as a story. It can't raise or lower stakes. It can't build tension. It can't introduce a new villain. and it cannot give you new, more important goals. On the other hand, the memory cutscenes do have a story arc. It has a narrative that builds, peaks, and resolves, and it's really good. This Zelda feels like a failure.
I do.
She has not awakened to the divine powers
sections of the Breath of the Wild. I did like that, and I did like it in Tears of the Kingdom too.
Yeah, I think they did better in the Tears of the Kingdom because in the end you got something out of it. With the memories, it's optional. You just have to find one memory and then go back to Impa, and then you get the
Armor,
champion, the champion's tunic. With the Tears, it gives you more of like a story. Even then, like the lore of it's fucking garbage, but still, it's still a good story. Just everything in it's garbage. Like Ganondorf becoming Demise, even though Demise is yeah.
I agree with you. I love the memories aspect of the story, and I thought it was great. The only thing I hated about it was, one, finding them, and two, if you didn't find them in the exact order, you had to kind of piece it all together. I would have liked it in some degree to have some level of chronological order, if you will.
That's kind of what they did in Tears of the Kingdom with the Tears. Kind of.
To his point about the shrines, I kind of like the shrines because it gives you an incentive to explore an otherwise barren landscape. It even has a puzzle in finding it. But I do see the need at the same time for what he's saying about having dungeons. You know, how do you find a happy medium? And the one thing I would, in my opinion, I think that would add to it is if you took the approach that they did in, what was that Zelda game called? Shadows, not Link to the Past. Was it Link to the Past where you could go on the wall?
Yeah, Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds.
I think it would be neat if they gave you the option of being able to lease or buy all of the items to a certain degree, or gave you one at a time and said, hey, go find this, and introduce them slowly, and then allow you to tackle the map and do the dungeon.
Yeah. But yeah, with the memories though, even if you did it in the order, like for Tears of the Kingdom, it doesn't make any sense because in the end, Ganondorf becomes what Demise is, which is the Demon King. So even then, like its own lore, it's retconned immediately, where Demise, which was the first being, is completely written out of it, and it's just Ganondorf.
Yeah.
So even in their own lore, it doesn't make any sense. And to find, I do agree, finding the little teardrop, you had to go into the sky to find it, or else you would never know where it is.
Yep. True.
So it forces you to go back into into a tower or to a sky shrine and drop down to find the tear. It wasn't readily available.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yep.
That are her birthright. She is bitter. She's even resentful of Link, as he fully embodies his destiny as hero, while she remains a failure. She curses the goddess.
Damn.
Why are her prayers not sufficient? Why can't she do what her mother and grandmother could? She wants to know what's wrong with her prayers. Why are her sacrifices insufficient? What is wrong with her? But the goddess remains silent. The reason her power doesn't awaken is because she's selfish. She doesn't want her powers to save people. She wants them so she stops hating herself. The insight Mipha was about to impart is that when she's healing, she thinks of Link. She thinks of the person she wants to help. Zelda's powers only awaken when she throws herself in front of Link with a desire to protect. Over the years, I've really grown to love the idea of this story. But the problem is, it's not really happening. It's just details about a backstory that King Rome already told you. It's not something that's happening in the present. You're just piecing together what happened in the distant past. And that makes it unimportant because regardless of what did happen, you're here now. In the present, there is no sadness, no tension,
That's a good point.
no stakes. All of the emotional highs and lows already happened. You're coming in at the tail end of a story, and all that's left is for you to be the conclusion. You get to kill Ganon and be the finale of a story you didn't really get to participate in.
Okay.
In my opinion, going forward, Zelda games need to tell linear stories. This memory cutscene experiment needs to end. We ran the experiment twice. The results are conclusive. It sucks. The benefits it gives, which is letting you do anything in any order, is not worth the cost. Not only does it restrict what you can do in the story, not only does it make the cutscenes less meaningful because it happened in the distant past, it's also responsible for the worst parts of Tears of the Kingdom's story. The reason you are subjected to the same bad cutscene 4 times is because it has information Nintendo wanted you to have after the first dungeon. Since it wants you to have that information, but refuses to restrict what dungeons you can go into, it just puts that cutscene in every dungeon instead. I appreciate that player freedom is important to how Nintendo sees Zelda now. But in this case, freedom is the problem, and restrictions, linearity is the solution. Echoes of Wisdom is a big step in the right direction. Echoes of Wisdom forces the player to complete the first dungeon, restricting you to a small part of the map until you do. Afterwards, you're able to explore the map freely, and can tackle the next 2 dungeons in any order. Afterwards, it reorients you to a specific dungeon that you have to do, where it advances the story and gives added context before unlocking the next 3 dungeons that again you can do in any order. All this while you can go anywhere on the map. This is great. Echoes of Wisdom actually has a sense of progression and escalation that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom lack.
Yeah, Echoes of Wisdom is a great, perfect game.
It is really, really good. Yes. I agree.
It's linear. It is linear. Even though you can do the other 2 in any order, you still have to do those 2.
Right. Yeah, you still have to do them regardless, no matter what. But it is very much linear. Yes, they need to take this same aspect from what they did with Echoes and apply it to the open world games. They do. Echoes is, and I will admit, and I've said this before, I wasn't sure how to feel about Echoes at first and how it played because I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but now I'm playing it for the second time in a row. What does that tell you?
I disagree with both of you. I have been playing Zelda games my whole life, and I've played almost every one, and I absolutely do not want a linear experience where you're limited to part of the world.
Why?
Because I like being able to explore a massive world.
Well,
okay, I'm misinterpreting what you're saying now. So you're saying, because you just said in the video, they locked off a good chunk of the world and you could go tackle any of the 2 dungeons you wanted to.
But you have to do it eventually.
Okay.
In order to beat the game, but you can go off and do whatever for however long you want.
I want to go explore the entire world from the very beginning. Like, one of the biggest draws for me, why I loved Breath of the Wild, like, I have no complaints about it, because I loved everything except for the final boss fight.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest draws for me was being able to explore the whole world.
Hey, Catherine.
Yes. But yeah, and you can do that, though, and you haven't played Echoes yet. Play Echoes, and then let us know what you think.
Even when Breath of the Wild came out, this was an argument that everybody wanted 8 dungeons.
Right.
And they wanted a very linear experience.
Yeah.
I prefer having just a giant world where I can go out and do whatever.
Well, that's what Echoes does too, to a certain degree.
Well, that's fair.
So
I'm kind of looking and interpreting the way he's describing this as a linear. He's wanting
play Echoes, and then you'll understand. Go ahead, Bern.
Yeah.
The single dungeons you're funneled into are opportunities to change the nature of the story and give you new, more important goals. The story is linear, but you're given a great degree of freedom for most of the game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is what I believe we should do in the 3D Zelda games going forward. Linear dungeons, linear story, but a free and open world between them.
Okay.
See, that's what it does.
Finally, I'd like to talk about some of the more miscellaneous things I want. We need to change the art style. One of the best things about the Zelda series is how radically the art style changes from game to game. And almost all of them look really good in their own way. Including the modern Zelda games, they look phenomenal. But it's been almost 8 years of just that. It's time to move on.
True.
I'm at a point where it just needs to be different. Even if it looks worse, it will be overall better just because it'll be different from what we've already had. Also, going forward, I don't want to ever see fuse again.
I'd love to see it.
In Tears of the Kingdom, you could fuse monster parts to your weapons, and it was hideous. Your weapons looked ridiculous and ugly and horrible.
That little stick can have a huge boulder.
Yeah, but that was cool.
Did you see where there was a couple of modders that actually made Ocarina of Time in Unreal Engine 5, and it looked beautiful.
Have you seen that, Burn?
Oh yeah, because it was beautiful. And I heard that they copyright striked it, Nintendo, but I have never seen it since. But yeah, it was.
I'm sure it's on YouTube if you look for it.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting and impressive mod. Oh, but I like the art style, but some of it's like it is kind of repetitive because
Agree.
Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. It took them 6 years to do Tears of the Kingdom, and this is what we got in 6 years.
Yeah, it's
This
just
is what we got in 6 years.
It's a almost carbon copy of what Breath of the Wild was, which again, there's nothing wrong with the continuation of that art style. That's fine. But I agree with him. I think that it should be a different art style. Same concept, but just different art style. Which is why I was saying earlier that if they do the same art style like what they did with Echoes and with Link's Awakening, that the clay or the whatever you want to call it animation, it's beautiful. You still haven't played Link's Awakening yet, mad at you. But when you play Link's Awakening, it has, again, like I said before, it has the same art style as what Echoes does, right?
Yeah.
So if they have that, or because that's very much appealing, or if they do something completely different, I mean, I would be down for it at least.
I'm perfectly happy with the way it looks now, in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think, if anything, it needs a hardware upgrade and could probably use some more realism and fancier graphics. But Nintendo's never been known for that.
Right.
Like, they're always about trying to make their game play good, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I would when you have a massive game like this, realism is great, but I'd love to have a much prettier backdrop. Like, remember when you first booted up Skyrim and remember how beautiful some of the landscapes were?
Yeah,
I want to see that in the Zelda game. I know you haven't played Skyrim, which is blasphemy, man.
Yeah, Skyrim is a really good game, but I know Nintendo can do it because I'm currently playing Pokemon Arceus, even though I don't like it. It's a beautiful game, so obviously they can do it. They have the technology to do it. They just don't want to do it for Zelda to a higher degree because Arceus or Arceus, however they want to say it, looks beautiful. The graphics and all the textures. Everything around the trees look realistic, but for the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it doesn't have that. And Arceus came before Tears of the Kingdom, so obviously they knew they could do it.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But yeah, let's finish this off here. We got 2 minutes. We can do this. Let's go. Let's go.
Vain fellow. When it comes to how my character looks in video games, don't ever make me use these hideous glued-on weapons ever again. I don't want to see them. I would also like it if we toned down the use of ancient technology. In Breath of the Wild, we had the Sheikah technology littering the landscape. And then in the Tears of the Kingdom, we found out, there was another, even more ancient civilization with highly advanced technology with a green aesthetic. I am pretty tired of it. We need to go back to Ocarina of Time levels of just normal stuff. As for their voice acting, if we are not going to be stuck with this Link and Zelda for another game,
oh my god, JFA!
Then we should
JFA,
use the
I swear to Jesus.
Say that again? Wait, what happened? I don't want...
Look, JFA's in the chat. Look what he said.
Did he ban? Hold on. Top chat, live chat. Nintendo doesn't want to do it because they don't. Okay. Whatever you say.
Present company not included. Shut up, JFA.
Okay.
Hi, JFA. By the way, hello, sir.
Hello, Catherine. Like and subscribe, Catherine. I know you can do it. And Nintendo Mail, almost toy-like, I guess. Nintendo, yeah. I'm gonna ban JFA. Hashtag ban JFA
No, you're
from
not.
everything.
Opportunity to
Whatever,
replace all
you
of the
will not.
English voice actors. Zelda's voice actress is
He's
terrible,
muted
and she
for the
did not
You're
get any
Muted
better for Tears of the
podcast. He's
Kingdom.
muted.
In my opinion, almost nobody put on a great performance, not even the voice actor for Ganondorf. I know that his voice actor is famous,
blasphemy.
and people like him,
No.
but in my opinion, he did not do a good
What
job
happened?
with Ganon.
He's talking about the voice of Ganon, Matt Mercer. He's
Mhm.
talking about how he doesn't like, he didn't think Matt Mercer did a good job. I highly, highly disagree. No. I think that was what Matt Mercer did for Ganon was great. I highly disagree.
You know, I had this thought, and let me get both of your opinions, but how interested would you be to actually play a Zelda game where you as Ganondorf and learned his backstory?
That'd be cool.
I think that would be.
I'd totally do that.
I mean, if they're gonna do it with Zelda, I think it would be like a good way to do it with Ganon too. Show like
Kind of like Mario and
Yeah.
Mario, Bowser's inside story, Ganon's inside story.
yeah, I
You
think
don't
that would be.
necessarily have to let the bad guy win, but just explain.
I think that would be really cool. Yeah, I would totally play that, absolutely. If it looked okay, if it looked fun to play, and if it had like a good and decent storyline, yeah, I would totally 100% play that. Yes, but knowing me, I'd probably play it anyway. So yeah,
I think that would be an interesting concept. Show your rise to power. Show how you lose the power. Show how you got the Triforce of Power. You know, and what you can use with it. Show like go up, be Ganon, and like start destroying villages and encounter bosses of that village.
I don't think Nintendo will ever do it because it'd probably be too dark of a story, but after watching the Penguin, I can see how you could draw parallels there.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. They might do that. You never know. They could do something like that. We'll have to just see. Okay, let's finish this. We got less than a minute. Let's go.
Ganondorf. Nintendo should look into how From Software does its hiring for voice actors, because their performances are always exceptional. Finally, the last thing I have to mention is about using the environment to kill enemies. In the early game of Breath of the Wild, it feels great to crush enemies with rocks or shoot a lantern that falls onto explosive barrels, but it quickly stops being useful.
That was fun.
Higher tier enemies have a large health pool, and a falling rock won't hurt it at all.
True.
It's a shame because it feels great to use these clearly intended mechanics. It's a big part of what early reviewers praised, but it's only useful during that first part of the game. I think the damage done by falling rocks, fire, lightning strikes, and explosive barrels should be greatly increased to the point that they're much stronger than your endgame weapons. Things like silver bokoblins have so much health that it would feel great to be able to occasionally avoid a lengthy battle through clever use of the environment.
True.
And I think that's it.
Okay.
These are the things I want from a Zelda game going forward. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. That's the end of the video. As always, thank you very much for watching.
Oh, it was you. Oh, he's you.
Literally me. Let's
Channeling
go.
you.
Movie Bob.
Like
No,
it's a matter of player preference as to how you use the environment. Because in the game, when I had acquired a bunch of stuff, that's when I really started experimenting with what I could do.
Yeah, so did I. And I think we all did to a certain degree. But no, I did like that. I think that his ideas and his theories are good, and I agree with most of them. I did not agree with what he said about Matt Mercer, for shame on you, sir. But other than that, I thought that was a great video.
Yeah. There's things I did disagree with, but you know, we're all gonna have our little disagreements. I think I do agree with the story being better. Because goddamn, Tears of the Kingdom has no story. I don't care what people say; it has no story. The entire quote unquote story is just gameplay. There's just nothing there. I'll go awaken the sage because the sage has died. Or it's like, wow, interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I got you. Well, sir, we actually got to head out because I got to get to bed. It is 11:30 my time, and I got to get up for work. But thank you for having me tonight. I'm glad we were able to make this work.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, new year, new Zelda content. The Zeldacast will
Let's
make it a whole
go.
year, years to come. I do appreciate doing this with you, K Huck. Thank you all the people in chat. Cool anime girls. I love reading all your Zelda theories in the side chat.
I do too.
Hopefully one day you can
Yes.
call in and you can like explain your points.
Yes. I think that we need to have her on at some point when she's comfortable. If she's comfortable with it, of course. Then yeah, I
True.
think that having her on would be a lot of fun. I think that that would have to be like an earlier stream though if we can make it because we'd be talking for hours. So
Wait, what?
okay, but what if Zelda game with Ganon as the main character of a Zelda game, right? However, the story has him maybe fighting against his destiny of being the bad guy. Ooh.
So that goes hand in hand with what I mentioned earlier, and she expands.
Since Demise's curse is the reason Ganon is the bad guy and he's reincarnated as Link and reincarnated as his Link in Zelda, maybe the game focuses on him. Ooh. Ooh.
However,
that would be a good idea. That's a good concept. So, but yeah, all right. Well, thank you again, Bern. That was a great video, and I'm glad to see that everyone in chat came out and appreciate you.
yeah.
I am possibly going to stream tomorrow on my channel. I'm not sure yet. All depends on weather and stuff, and if we can get things done beforehand. If not, then I will try to be back on Friday. So, what you got going on, sir?
What I got going on? I'm gonna start the Zeldathon again. I got to get back into playing Zelda. For the people that like playing it, I gotta find more. I gotta find more drama topics as well. Because I did like tearing into that C6 guy. That was pretty fun to do. I think tomorrow I'll be streaming as well, just finishing Wind Waker to the best of my ability, and I don't know what everyone else is doing.
He hasn't finished Wind. Have you never finished Wind Waker?
I've finished it before. I'm at the Wind Temple, and then it's the boring go collect the pieces of the Triforce part.
Yeah, he's playing it. He's doing a Zeldathon where he plays different Zelda games, and he's finishing playing again Wind Waker. He just played Link's Awakening, sir.
You haven't played Link's Awakening?
No. I'm going to keep bullying you until you get it.
It's a good game. You would actually like it. It's a good change of
pace.
pace.
I keep telling you, if you like that Goose of Wisdom, which I know you did, you will love Link's Awakening. You need to get that at some point.
A Link to the Past, too.
So.
I feel like if you played A Link to the Past, you have more of an appreciation for that game.
Fair.
Link to the Past, yeah, I could play it. It's emulated on the... Well, not emulated, but it is on the Switch as online.
Well, there you go. All right, sir. Well, I gotta head out, but you all have a good night. Good night, Bern. Thank you again, and I will talk to you again soon, buddy.
Thank you guys for coming in, and thank you, KF, for calling in tonight for the Zelda cast. We'll see you next week, I think. Right? There's no holiday next week. I hope not.
No, not that I know of.
Okay. So we'll see you next week on the Zelda cast. Please support the channels that do this with us. K-Huck, of course, and my channel. And we'll see you next time for the song tonight, Forest Temple, for you guys. And peace out.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, bye. Oh. I kind of cut her off. Don't clip this. Don't clip this. Don't clip this.